Why, hello there. How's it going, everyone? How you guys doing tonight, today, wherever you're from in this beautiful world? Well, again, we're doing a beer and cheese pairing Tuesday. I'm really happy about this. I love it. It's fun. And we have Anthony here. Let me get this banner off of here. I'm annoyed with it. Or Life is Beautiful. We have Bumpy Road. We have Miscellaneous Magnets. Do you want me to say your names, or I don't know? It doesn't matter.
Don't bother me.
I started with Life and gave him his name. So, all right, we'll just. I am Life. I am Life. Bow down to me. No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. But very good to have you guys here. Thank you so much, and thank you to the chat for showing up. It looks like there's a couple here. Let me go to the comments just to make sure. Well, right on. Thank you for being here. And when you're here, thank you again. We may not answer you all the time, so I will try to make it a habit of commenting on the chat here while everyone is doing their reviews on their cheese and beer. So we'll start with Life is Beautiful, and then we'll go to Bumpy, then we'll go to Miscellaneous, then we'll come back to me. Then after that, we'll go the same way and do our scores and what we think about everything. So right on.
All right. So the pairing I got tonight, I'm actually pretty excited for. I thought I was going pretty international, but I learned that this cheese was actually made in Wisconsin. But it is the Bellevatino Espresso. And I had to look up what exactly it was. It's a unique cheddar Parmesan inspired Italian farmstead cow cheese rubbed with fresh ground Italian roasted espresso beans. And this is actually an award winner for the 2014 World Cheese Awards that won for artisan cheese. So pretty excited to give it a try. You can tell just from looking at it that it looks creamy at first, but it looks like it's going to be pretty dry in the mouth. But those espresso beans up top, man, they just look so dang good. And even just sitting here, it doesn't have an overly pungent character, but you can smell huge wafts of coming off of it. And it has that little footy smell, and it comes across almost like a funky Parmesan. So I'm really excited to try that. Moving on, I don't know so much about this beer in particularly. My beautiful wife, she picked this up for me from her trip to Spain. It is the Cerveza del Montseny Negra, and it apparently is a Spanish take on an Irish export stout. So pretty excited. Let's go ahead and find my bottle opener. That way we can crack on into it. All right, let's get it in the glass. Oh, that is a foamy boy. Oh man, this might be an ugly pour. I've had this one sitting in the fridge for 2 weeks, so it doesn't look promising. Oh yeah, that's not good. Even like I'm not able to get a huge waft off of it, but you can tell it has a little bit of shelf aging on it. It's a bit oxidized, and it has a little lactic taste to it. So we might have an infected bottle. Not good.
I'll let this a finger count.
One whole hand. So I'll go ahead and do the cheese while I let that one die down and settle. But like I said, it looks kind of creamy at first, but in the hand, it has a bit of a drying aspect, even to the touch. So let's go ahead and give it a bite. All right, so just like I expected, very, very dry, but it does have a beautiful mix between like a buttery Vermont style cheddar and a nice rich Parmesan flavor. I bit from the bottom first that didn't have the espresso rind. That way I could really get a flavor profile on the cheese itself. So I'm going to take one more bite and try it with that espresso rind, see if we can get some of that nice roasty notes. Oh my God. It's almost like a completely different cheese from the top. You have so much roast, so much toast. It's like a beautiful breakfast blend of coffee. You're not quite getting that same roasty punch that I expected out of espresso, but dang, is it good. All right, well, let's go ahead and taste this disaster of a beer real quick. Yeah, not very good. Kind of disappointed with that. It tastes like it would have a great flavor underneath it, but I think something went wrong with the aging or maybe the travel, in the plane and then unrefrigerated its entire journey, all that stuff. It has a very metallic penny taste, like kind of like that dirty, bloody metal flavor, Additionally, it's overwhelming all the other roasty and sweet characteristics that I would look for in an Irish stout. And unfortunately, it does have a bit of a acidic tinge to it. So I have to say, I think it's an infected bottle. So that's really depressing on my end. All right, real quick, I'm going to cut a new piece. That way I get more of that espresso rind. But we'll do a pairing with it nonetheless. Well, this is interesting. Because, well, I guess not really, but the espresso rind, that big coffee punch that I got out of it, really helps cover up some of the flaws in this beer. It toned down that metallic taste to non-existent levels, and surprisingly, the tartness to it really pairs well with the buttery characteristics, and together they bring out a little more sweetness in the beer and create a little bit of a harmonious effect. So although I love the cheese, didn't like the beer, together I think we have something to work with here. So I can't wait to try it a little bit more behind the scenes, but overall it's okay right now.
Nice. That's awesome. That's covered with espresso beans?
Yeah.
Or like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Oh my God.
I've been waiting to see this cheese since he brought it up.
Wow. Oh wow. Nice. That was a great review, man. Damn.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, Bumpy, man, we got you next.
I am next. So I did go on a local brewery hop today. So I grabbed a growler from one of them. This is from the Barrel. They're out of Derry, New Hampshire. I'm going to say the beers that I've typically had from them are very good. And I didn't plan this one with Anthony, but it just go ahead. Before we went live, I was saying, hey, there were some off notes to this one, and let me try to describe them. This is called Strictly Eldorado. It's a 5.5% pale ale with Eldorado hops. As you can see, it's very, very hazy. It's got a nice light yellow coloration to it. White head. The aromas. It's got a citrusy tang to it. So there's like this kind of almost souring note, which you shouldn't find in a regular pale ale. Little bit of a kind of a crackery background from the malt. That's pretty much the aromas. The tangy sour note already gives a warning that there's something up with this. So first swig on it. Cheers. So it's got for the malt part of it, starts off with a little bit like a kind of light cracker, saltine type cracker type note, and then it goes into the strong acidic flavor, kind of like they used acid malt in it, which would be like a German thing without using like lactic acids and stuff when you want to bring down your pH level. in a brew, you would use an acid malt in which to do that, and it tastes like they use like 40% in the total grist of acid malt. This is it's got quite a bit of that low pH, tangy, going into almost a tart type flavor. There is also a little bit of a metallic flavor in this as well. Those are all off notes. A little bit of a citrusy undertone with all that from the El Dorado, but not a very hoppy beer. I think it would have been a more balanced kind of cracker and light citrusy to possibly even candy type notes from the El Dorado. But yeah, I'm not sure what's up with this. I don't know if it was a bad batch. If they made it with a ton of acid malts for some reason. I don't know why you do that for a pale ale, especially in the United States. Or if they had dirty tap lines or what. But this one's definitely off flavored. Now, the cheese that I have is Manchego. So this is Spain's most famous cheese. It says it serves with olives, crusty bread, and robust red wine. I definitely don't have a red wine. Wasn't sure that this was going to pair anyways with a beer before I even tried the beer. But I had the growler, so I wanted to open that and just drink that versus not drinking it. But the cheese looks like this. It's got this plastic wrap around the edge, so I'll peel that off if I can. Now, this cheese is very moist. It's a moist cheese. Oh, that's not going to peel very well. I might have to eat around the. Yeah, that's just kind of that's going to take forever to pick away at. So it's very pungent. It's got the kind of sweaty toe jam smell to it. Yeah, there's not much else I can say about the smell on that. It smells decent though, even though who thinks of toe jam as being decent smelling. But let's go ahead and take a bite of this. Totally different in the flavor from the smell. It's got it's actually kind of dry on the palate. Very dry cheese, hard cheese, and it's kind of like it's got like a mozzarella flavor at first, but then it kind of dives into like almost like a cheddar sharpness. Not bad. I think the first flavors are when you're chewing on it and eating it are better. The aftertaste is kind of left with almost nothing, except that it does kind of dry the palate a little bit. Let's go ahead and pair this with this off flavored pale ale. They don't go together. Yeah, they're two separate worlds. The cheese itself, you can get the cheese when you're eating it. The beer itself, you get the beer when you're eating it. They're totally separate. That kind of acidic, tart, and metallic flavor comes through with each sip of the beer. You take a bite of the cheese, it overtakes that. You taste the cheese at first, and it dries out your palate. So the cheese washes down the off flavors of the beer. But yeah, not a great pairing. They can't all be winners.
That's right, man.
Guys, they can't all be winners, man. Exactly. That's just the way it is. Cool, man. That was awesome. That was great.
Well, at least it took down the funkiness of the beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You still
that's
don't look
amazing.
pleased,
Two
though.
kind of soured brews tonight. So
The cheese is saving the day.
let's hope the best for the rest of you guys.
I'm hoping, man.
I'm gonna cut away this outrage.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So got something special. I went and got a 750 milliliter of from the brewery. It's called Etane. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly, but this is a special 10-year anniversary beer that they did. Let me see what it says. This is the crowning achievement of our anniversary series, a beer commemorating our 10-year anniversary by blending in special barrel-aged reserves from each year leading up to this year, which this bottle was 2008. So it is 2 years aged already, out of Orange County, California. Let's go to the back here. 100%. Oh, this is classified as an Old English ale. 100% aged in bourbon barrels. Our 10th anniversary is a tribute to our decade-long passion for creating barrel-aged and experimental ales. For this milestone, we have woven in our reserves of our bourbon barrel-aged anniversary ales from the last 10 years using the Solera method for blending. The results is a 100% bourbon barrel-aged ale layered with rich, complex nuisances of toffee, caramel, dark fruit, vanilla, and oak. This thing rings in at a whopping 16.3% ABV. So, yeah, this was the last one on the shelf. They do not make, they no longer make this beer. So, it's 2 years in. So, oh shit, can't get the plastic off. There we go. Boom. Sorry, you guys can't see. Little smoke. This is more closer to room temp, probably about 65 degrees. So let's go ahead and pour it up. Oh, I got a much better head than I had read on any of the descriptions. Man, the color of this is awesome. It's nice red, deep caramel, roasty red color. You can see through it. You can't make anything out. Very surprised on that. Head went down fairly quick, obviously with the APV. So I wouldn't call it cocoa. It's more of a khaki colored head. Oh shit, look, you guys can see me in my glass. Anyways, smell. Oh, very, very toasty. Boozy. Definitely boozy on the nose. Definitely getting toffee. It's very complex. You definitely can tell this came from the barrel for sure. Slight caramel notes, like they said. So yeah, let's go ahead and try it, man. I'm excited. That is incredibly smooth for the APV. Wow. Definitely toffee, caramel, roasty sweet malt. Damn. Let's go back in for another one. It's got a little bitter to it. Definitely getting some bready, like a biscuity out of it. Really good. I'm surprised. There's a lot of bubbles going on. effervescent for not being a highly carbonated beer. There's a lot going on in there from the top. So for the cheese I got an imported Dutch aged Gouda, product of Holland, aged a minimum of 10 months. Got the cheese here. I already cut mine up. Smell on the cheese. Definitely smells like Gouda. This is a much drier cheese. It's got a good aroma to it. Buttery, rich. Almost a nutty smell to it. So let's go ahead and try the cheese by itself. It is a very dry cheese. Crumbly mouthfeel. It's got like a coarse, like a grainy texture to it. The flavor is awesome. Up front, tastes very nutty. The longer it sits on the palate, you get more of like a toasty caramel flavor out of the cheese. It's good. I like the style of cheese by itself. I like the beer by itself. Hopefully they pair. We're gonna find out. Hey, Cheryl. All right, so thoughts on the cheese with the beer. The cheese did make it a bit sweeter. Kind of toned down the barrel aspects of it, but it did bring out the booziness in it for sure. Because if you had the beer alone and you sipped it, it's not too warming. On the nose, very boozy combination. The cheese definitely amplifies the high APV in this beer. So I'm content with what I got. It seems to work fairly well. Get the nutty, like I said, the cheese finishes like a burnt caramel, which is going good with the sweet bourbon, barrel age, vanillas, caramels. Really good. Awesome pairing. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Oh,
Nice,
shit.
man, cheers.
Bumpy's got the. Oh, he's
98.
alive. That's good.
All
Give it
right,
a
man.
98 miscellaneous.
It's a good temp. Yeah, that's I've been okay lately. I think I'm all right.
I get
I have to go
every
out
day I
every
go to
day
work.
too. So.
Every day I go to work, they gotta scan me. I gotta go fill out paperwork.
What, I have like 5 more days
You're
to
okay.
find out if I have it or not. I'm just kidding. Come on.
I hope not. I got a package from you not too long ago.
Shit.
It's a dirty bomb.
Oh man. All right. So cool. It's been good, man. Cheryl, welcome, and Craft Beer Pours. John Brooks, Mercy Beers, the Psycho Ducky. What's up, everyone? Thank you for coming by. This has been fun, man. This is good hearing all these guys talk about beer and cheese. I love it. I love it so much. So right on. Let's get on with let's get this one going. So first of all, let's get the beer. Enough with the ums. This is Hopworks Urban Brewery out of Portland, Oregon. It's got tangerine added. It's basically I would imagine like what you would call an American sour. Sour India Pale Ale with tangerine added. It's part of the Independent Craft Brewers Association. That's nice. What else have we got here? This is in a pint can. It's a 6% ABV. Doesn't have anything on IBUs. Cool art. It's kind of neat. And it does have a date, October 10th, 2019, which is okay, though, because it's a sour. So I can be in here a little longer, from what I understand, right? Let's go ahead and open this up.
Man, that looks good.
Sure does. And it almost fell over. My hand stuck on the damn rim. Okay. So this is about a finger head. Yeah. Enough with the arms, homie. Stop umming it. I definitely get tangerine. It's a very sparkly, sour tangerine. Oh, it's got that acidic smell to the tangerine, even more so than, say, the zestiness of the peel. It's something like that. It's got a very bitter. It comes out. It's sweet smelling though. It smells good. Oh, it went in my nose. Look at that, dude. Do I smell it better? It's actually malty. I get some breadiness. There's bready on my lip.
Up close and personal.
Well, let's look at it, folks. It went down. It's an acidic beer. It's a sour. It's going to go down. The head retention's not going to stay long. It's a white with a slight tinge of a light orange on the head. The head is now down. It's no longer there. What we had was a nice head. It looks like orange juice. It's opaque. Can't see through it. Maybe can see some shadows, but that's it. It has a pretty fast rising bubble, actually. Not bad at all in there. It looks like orange juice or mango juice or something. Let's taste it. Definitely puckery. Very kind of astringent. Very. Oh. That's very sour. A lot of lactic acid in this. Wow. It's like a Berliner Weiss. This is amazing. You get the tangerines coming through this, though. Tangerines pull through it. Very nice. But it's like a unripe tangerine. It has the peel, the rind in the back on the finish. A very sour, astringent rind finish. Very different, very crazy, and very wild. I like it. There's a little bit of very small amount of sweetness up on the rim of your palate. You can get this sweet kind of feel, but then it dries away and you pucker off, and it's sour, and you're like, wow. But it's not bad. You do get the tangerine. They weren't lying about that. Let's go ahead and go into my cheese of choice. This is a goat cheese, blueberry vanilla with wrapped around it. Montchevre. Chèvre means goat in French. Chèvre. We're fresh on the date, so I have some good chèvre. Cool. Awesome. Let's try it.
It almost looks like a summer sausage.
Or a poop. All right. Sorry, I didn't embarrass you guys. Sorry. Oh, man. It made me smile. This cheese is phenomenal. Oh, it's got that rich, dank goat milkiness, that fresh from the goat taste.
Goat to table.
Right out of the udder. I mean, straight in the can and right in your mouth. I mean, this is amazing. And then with that blueberry on there wrapped with the vanilla, they probably patted some vanilla up in there or put some vanilla extract or something around it. I have no idea, but it's really delicious. You get the milk sugary kind of taste out of it with the blueberry and that creamy awesomeness of that goat cheese. It has a slight zesty, citrusy kind of edge to it as well. It's kind of interesting. It's very sweet and very desserty. Hopefully that'll edge well with the sour here. So let's try it. I don't want a big piece. When I did cannabis, I'd smoke it, take the drink, and then let it out. And that smoke went through. So I'm going to do kind of the same with the cheese as I have it going through my mouth. Oh, fuck, man. Oh, damn it, dude. No, that brings out the tangerine. It's no longer sour. It's got this straight up, the sweetness from the cheese itself and the blueberries puts that sugar up into that tangerine, takes the sour out. So now you have this like weird orange tangerine, like that bright kind of tangerine taste that tangerines have, you know? They're not super sweet. Well, some of them can be sweet. It depends on how ripe they are. But they're kind of more of like a, I don't know, like a soury. They go well with the sour. Let's put it that way. But it makes them sweeter. And that blueberry, the berryness mixed in with it, with that cheese, tastes like a cheesecake with orange and blueberries on it. It's fucking phenomenal. I'm sorry for the F-bomb, but dude, this I had it in my thoughts that maybe it might go well. And I was like, you know, mixed fruit with citrus, and it's got to go well. And they say goat cheese goes good with the lactic acid, especially because it has kind of a citrus in it as well. And I did say it had citrus, so it did it mingled really well in the crowd with this one. So I'm very happy. Right on. Well, cheers, guys. This is great, man. Oh, I didn't mention the body and the mouthfeel, dude. The body was a medium body with a very sour, as I said, but also very easy drinking, very light, crisp, and nice. It was kind of nice. So, right on. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. I want to apologize for the side noise that may have happened while you were reading your beer can.
Don't worry about it.
It turns out my stepson's been using my toothbrush.
COVID-19 immediately.
Oh, damn it. Well, is he out getting a new toothbrush?
No, he claims that was his. He's like, I took it out of the package. I'm like, no, I purchased that and I took it out of the package myself. That's my toothbrush.
Oh, man, that sucks.
The joys of parenthood.
Yeah, buddy.
That's cool.
How did
He
turn
can
on my
continue using it if he wants to, because I'm going to use a different toothbrush now.
No,
Nice.
more on the color of this now. I put it in some better lighting. This is like a deep, rich mahogany color. Definitely a full body. I didn't state that either on mine. Man, this is different for sure.
It
Never
does have a mahogany.
I had this style of beer. There's a floater in there. It's gonna be a while before I finish that bottle.
At least somebody has a good beer.
That is a strong beer. It's a real pretty beer, though. It's really nice. It's really nice
Like
looking.
I said, I don't know. I've looked it up, one of a kind. I couldn't get a lot of details on it, and like I said, they said on Beer Advocate that it's no longer brewed. I don't know.
No longer.
Anytime you can use Bumpy's toothbrush. Anytime, Dio.
And my back scratcher. I gotta get a scratch. Okay. Cool, man. Well, so what did you think about the combo and the cheese and the combo and all that? Like, what was
We haven't gone back around yet.
That would
Oh,
be
we
on
haven't even gone
Anthony.
yet? Oh my god, dude, I need to get my head out of my ass.
No, I've gone. Just haven't gone back around talking about the.
Oh
radio.
yeah, that's right. We went that way. I was thinking we were going that way. I forgot, dude. All right, sorry, man. Damn,
Oh, it's all good, Doc.
Anthony, man. Yeah, go for it, bro. I'll just leave you small.
All right, so it's actually been kind of chaotic back here with this pairing. First off, I do want to give a huge shout out to my boy David. He's tuning in tonight and he's been commenting, hitting us up. So thank you so much for all the support. He's my boy. So huge shout out to him. Secondly, I had to throw the knife that I was using to cut this cheese across the room because this cheese is so damn good that I would have eaten the entire thing in one sitting. This cheese is blowing my mind. As you started cutting into the thicker, fatter part of the body, you started getting not only a little more crunch from the espresso, but you also had those calcium crystals that were down inside the cheese that gives it that extra little crunch and flavor. So the more I eat this, the more I love it. I'm completely debating on whether or not I'm going to save any for my wife to try tomorrow because this is so freaking good. So if I have to rate the cheese by itself, I'm kind of a harsh critic at times. I very rarely give like insanely high scores, but I would have to say this is probably one of the better cheeses I've had in my entire life. And, it's just phenomenal. So I'm going to give it a perfect score, man. It's just that good.
Wow. Nice.
The beer. I did a little more research into the brewery, and it made me even more disappointed in this beer because apparently they are the, what is the company name? The Monsini. They are the contract brewer that produces a lot of Evil Twins beers. So if you ever had like the Uno Mas Jesus, like any of those, it came from this. So had I known that going in, I would have had much higher expectations. And like I said, just because of how bad this beer was, it hurt me more. Now, I'm not going to blame the brewery 100% because, as I said, this did travel, across multiple countries. And that travel, that heat, that non-refrigeration, the constant shaking, it can damage the actual flavors of the beer. It can agitate some microbes that might have snuck in. So I'm not going to blame the brewery, but I will definitely say greatly disappointed in it. It does have what I'm looking for in an Irish stout. It's a little bit roasty. It's got that nice mouthfeel to it, but just because of the side effects, I don't even want to really rate it. So I'm just going to put it like in the middle 50. I will try it again if I ever get the opportunity, and hopefully I'll be able to come back with a better review. But yeah, just this particular bottle, not loving it. The fusion together is still fantastic, but I think the cheese is definitely carrying a lot of that weight. So if I had to score it, I would say it's still about the 80s range, but I think 75% of that is coming from the cheese. Mm-hmm. But I would look forward to doing it again one day in the future. Maybe I will, but as of right now, middle of the road for me.
That's interesting. That's awesome, dude.
I'm one of those guys that goes back, like I'll have it once and I'm like, oh, I don't like that, and I'll go back and have it again, and the beer tastes totally different. So like you're saying, from can to can or 6-pack or 4-pack to 4-pack can vary tremendously. Right. I've gone back 3 or 4 times and had the same beer, and it tastes different each time.
Yeah,
it's all about that age and that storage.
Monsini's awesome too. They have some good beers, man.
I try not to give up because, like I said, I've had some really crappy ones, and I go back to it and I'm like, man, this can actually tastes really good.
Yeah. Nope, happened with the local brewery of mine too. So I needed to shut my mouth quick on that one because that word gets around quick here. So I had to try it again. It was good. So that sometimes that tinny or the bottle that you'll get a lot of like coin flavors or that metallic flavors from the lid. It's like what? Or the bottle itself can give that metallic kind of shit. But,
yeah, I've had bottles of beer like that, and that's totally thrown me off completely. Right. Like, this should not taste as if it came from a can. I don't.
Right. Cool, man. Awesome, man. Thank you, Lev.
I totally blame the brewery for the faults in this one because I got it off tap today into a clean growler. clean and sanitized growler, and didn't spend any time with any bottles or anything like that. It came out of their keg system, and it has that metallic and, like I said, kind of like they used a ton of like acidic malts or something. It's just way off and definitely not a standard of a pale ale that I'm enjoying. Or if this one was better, unless this is actually what they intended, then this is what they intended. I don't know what they're thinking. But the only way I can score this beer is to say, I don't know, it's 2 notches up from a drain pour, because I am about to finish the growler of it. So I didn't pour it out. It wasn't bad enough to have to pour it out.
Good.
The cheese itself, I'm going to give an 89. It's decent. It's, you know, I can eat it. Like I said, it kind of had that real pungent, like toe jam smell, mostly on the mozzarella, to like sharp cheddar flavors in the mouth. A little bit as I continued eating it, because I am down to this last nub, except for my 2 slices for the dogs. That kind of toe jam pungency started to kind of seep in a little bit during mid chew on it. So yeah, it's decent, but an 89. I probably wouldn't buy this cheese again, personally, just because I can't see it going well on crackers or anything like that. But yeah, I could see it. I could see it at like a table with some wine and stuff. I think it would mix well with like a red wine. But yeah. For the pairing, I'm just gonna say that these two have definitely done their homework on social distancing, because they are just like just like that. That's the score. It's a social distancing pairing on this one. they don't come into any contact. But I gotta mute my mic. I gotta call the dogs and see what they think of this.
All right.
I'm surprised we haven't seen him already.
Well, Kobe's always the first one.
There he is.
Kelly.
Oh,
Some cheese. Oh, oh yeah. You want that
hell
cheese?
yeah.
And
He
he's
likes
pretty
cheese.
for the cheese.
Come on, get it. Kelly. All right. Well, Charlie's not coming.
He's all blah. That was bad, Dad.
Kobe. It's Kobe. Kobe liked.
Nice. That's good. All right, man.
Awesome. My prayers go out to your guts, Bumpy. If that's
Oh,
not
man.
good beer, I hope you don't have to go down that road. But damn, I did. I had a bad beer the other night with the beer man, and I turned around and looked at it, and I didn't even want to say how old that fucking thing was. And I went back to the store, and I told those people, I said, man, there is absolutely no way you should have this on your shelf. It's like, how do you, because down here it's highly regulated. The reps come in, and they look, because they don't want you to sell bad product, because it reflects on them.
Well, that IPA was like, oh, well, you know, as old as it was. I'll let you say how old it was, but that was pretty old.
Under the right circumstances, had it been cared for, possibly could have been okay.
Right?
It's a stretch, but
got a little oxidized.
that's not the word. Foul. By all means. As soon as I opened it, I knew that shit was no good.
Foul.
I tried it anyways. That was the only full beer I've ever
It's like mayonnaise.
God, we can't escape the throat mayo.
But all right. So moving on. My beer, it was really good for what it was. I didn't know what to expect when I bought it off of the shelf, because I had no idea. I didn't have my phone on me. From the description, I thought it was going to be a stout. Appears not. Old English ale. So I don't know. It was described on Beer Advocate. On Beer Advocate, they did not even have a picture of this bottle. But very, very good, well-rounded. For as high APV it was, and like I said, I played a pretty penny. I paid $30 for a 750 milliliter bottle of this. Broke the bank, whatever. Came out with something fancy. I liked it. The beer I would score it at a 95 out of 100 or a 4.75 out of 5.
Nice. It was worth your while then. It was worth your money.
Yes, I'm enjoying it. It's really good. The cheese, I'm gonna go right the same, man. I have not had Dutch aged Gouda. It hit the mark for me. I'm gonna score it at a 95 as well. The flavor was there. It was rich, buttery, nutty flavors in the front. Once it sat on the palate, you got like a deep, roasty, burnt caramel taste to it, which played very well with the beer. So I'm gonna stick at a solid 95 out of 100 or a 4.75 out of 5. On my
Nice. That's
pairing.
great.
I'm content,
Perfect.
ecstatic about it. It worked really well.
Awesome. That's very good to hear, man. So we're gonna get better and better at this. I promise. It's gonna get better and better.
Start looking at the descriptors or whatever. But I always try and go out and find these off of the wall, some shit nobody's ever seen or super limited edition, because this was not labeled as a limited release. This was labeled as a special release beer on the shelf. So I don't know what kind of difference that makes, but I'm sure there's not a lot of this floating around.
Yeah, no, $30 is about $4 more than I've spent for the most expensive beer I bought.
Right.
For one bottle, yeah.
I was looking at two of the ones I wanted to get, and I saw this, and I'm like, oh, good.
There's a 35 one, 30, I think it's $32 or $30.
But like I said, this isn't a bomber. It's not a 22-ounce beer. I'm getting a fair shake, in my opinion, compared to the other two bottles I've been looking at.
Oh yeah.
I don't even want to say how much my most expensive bottle was. It's almost embarrassing.
Hey, but you know what? I'd rather spend the money and try this because
it's so much fun.
You might not ever get to try it. This is like I haven't punched it in to see who's the closest place that has this, but this could be one of the holy grail of beer that you might not ever get to try or hear about or ever see. So that's what I base my beer buying on most of the time. I try and get the obscure, the stuff that nobody sees.
Unique and rare
Try.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Cool, man. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. So here I go with the ums again. Stop the ums. Let me go. Here, let me just. Okay, so this beer was delicious. It was a good sour IPA. I have had sour IPAs before, and they're much the same. They have a lot of the citrus characters. They have the sour, of course, the lactic acid. But it's nice because it added the tangerine effect into it, the rind of tangerine, the fruit of tangerine, everything you can think tangerine is on the is inside this, but only sour. You add the blueberry vanilla cheese here, goat cheese, chèvre, and it's very delicious. It makes this very sweet and it forms into the blueberry and delivers this crazy citrusy berry like fusion. It's like drinking some kind of I don't know, like fruit milkshake or something. It's weird. It's got all that vanilla and it's freaking bomb. The beer alone, I'll say these guys are great. Hopworks is real. I wish they would distribute out further. If they don't, I don't know, but very awesome. They're into biking and stuff like that. They have bikes all over the room. Like they're all into athletics and stuff. It's very cool. But I'm going to give this beer a 5. This is awesomely like a 5. I don't, for a sour, it's very Berliner Weiss like. It has that vinegar-esque sourness to it. That's very it's kind of hard to take in, but with that tangerine, it really induces a nice flavor. And then with the cheese was phenomenal. It was a 5. I'm very happy with this. I'm going across the board 5-5, 2 thumbs up. It was a really good match, guys. I have to admit it was very good. So
That's awesome.
Now
That's
maybe
crazy
I can
that
find
you
something
said
that
it.
sucks.
It kind of changed it to almost like a milkshake IPA kind of style.
Yeah, I did.
That's cool.
Did.
Because some of those citrus sours that are IPAs like that, they are very hoppy, and it's acid city, get you heartburn, zesty, rindy.
Mhm.
The oils and stuff. It's a lot more pungent than using the actual fruit compared to the rind or oils or essences of.
Rounds it out.
Fruit,
It softens it. It makes it not so sharp, and it kind of is easier to take down. And yeah, like you're saying, with the sweet and the tangerines are really good mixed with it. If it was lemon, it would probably been good too. But it's just the tangerine, man. I love oranges. And that's what gives me the 5.
Hey, Mr. Tangerine, what we some
dude.
for me.
Your beer wasn't bitter at all.
The beer, it had a bit. There was it was more sour, overtook everything. It's just very, like I said, vinegar-esque, very, very, very tart and sour, and it had some sweetness, but not very much. There might have been a little bitterness in there. Maybe the citrus is what I was getting out of that.
Yeah.
Where the bitterness comes from, I don't know, the rindiness, but it was very good, very delicious. So one of the best sours I've had.
Awesome.
I might have one
Damn, dude.
more in there. Yeah, that's a
This
big.
lasted a whole hour. Cool. That was good.
That was decent, man.
That was
awesome.
man.
I was really glad to see Anthony's cheese ever since he brought that up.
Yeah.
I was like, what's up with the espresso bean cheese? I want to see this.
And that's a lot larger than my cheese, so I don't feel so
And there's
bad.
not a lot of them left. As you guys can see, he got into that.
I've been crushing it, man. But I did notice one odd, interesting side effect. So I've been hitting my vape off and on, and when I first started talking about its aroma, I talked about how it had a light funk to it. I don't know what it is. My vape juice is tangerine and pineapple, and when I exhale and it like mixes with like the cheese residue in my mouth or whatever, it comes out like a straight barnyard fart. It is awful.
Oh no, that's not good.
Like just sitting
like
here,
cannabis night then on Sundays. So
like just sitting here enjoying the cheese. I love that residual flavor that's just sitting there coating my tongue, and then I hit that vape, and it was awful.
Oh man.
It was cool too. You said that the cheese started to get more complex the further you got into the thickness of it, which makes more sense. You get into the heart of the cheese is where you're going to hit the different flavors.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when you chew it and like let it go through it and sift through it, kind of like a filter. It just goes through, and you really like that's how I had with the cannabis too. It was like the smoke sifting through it. It brought out all the terpenes. They would punch through, and you get all these like terpenes coming out. And then it mixed well with whatever, well or good or bad, I guess, based on how much, this is how I do it, spontaneous and shit. But, it's different. It's cool. I like it. It's fun. That's what I like about this. So, man, this has been fun.
That beer is loud, man.
I hate to cut the cheese and go, but
it's all good. Yeah, no, we'll cut this out. We'll cut this out. No, but thank you, chat, for being here. This has been a fun. Thank you, panel, for coming here and being part of this. I appreciate it. So,
Beer man, always
awesome, man.
Thank
you guys
you,
are great,
chat, man. You guys rock.
Hell yeah, dude. You rock too.
You rock, miscellaneous.
Thank you, chat, for
Anthony,
being here.
Great seeing you again.
Yeah,
Always.
definitely.
Always.
Beer man, always fun to see you.
Always fun, dude.
You're a fun guy.
Well, thank you, fun guy. I love it. I love fun guys. Fungus. Well, not anymore. Guys. I can't do that anymore. But yeah, you have a good day.
I'm gonna have a much better pairing next week. I can feel it.
Sweet. I'll probably have a
right.
shitty one, so it's all good.
All right.
See
Cheers,
you,
guys.
Later, Bumpy.
All right. Well, man, Anthony, man, Miscellaneous, I forgot your fucking name. I don't. You don't want me to tell
Now you're
everyone
in
your name.
trouble.
Miscellaneous.
My
I'll
name's
just call
Drew,
you.
by the way.
Damn it,
My
that's
wife
it.
spilled the beans.
Ah,
Anyways, but
I don't call
you
it by
guys
your
can
name
call
all
me
the
that
time.
anytime you want.
Drew and Anthony, man, thank you guys for being here. Really
you for
appreciate
having
it
us.
again. Definitely. So I'll see you guys. Hopefully, we'll do some beer, jerky and beer on Thursday at the same
I'm ready.
time, probably 5:05. Well, whatever it is your time.
I've got mine already lined up.
So do I. So cool, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. We're out of here. Cheers, everyone. Cheers, chat. Love ya. We're out.
Later, guys.